Just to put into perspective how much a billion is, we need to think about 1,000 seconds is 16.7 minutes, and 1,000,000 seconds is 11.5 days. But 1 billion seconds is 32 years. That is the amount of money that George Soros made in a single Forex trade. And people call that the Forex trade that shut down the Bank of England. And in today's video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how George Soros did this. Some people like George Soros, but most people do not. But I'm going to lay down the facts and show you exactly what he did, because this information could help you in your Forex trading. So if you're interested to find out how he made $1 billion in a Forex trade, hit the like button, because it lets me know that you're interested in these topics. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So to understand how he did this, we need to understand some context. We need to understand a little bit of the backstory. So this right here is a map of the world, obviously. So let's zoom in on the continent of Europe. So all these countries right here, all these countries, they make up Europe. Now, back in the day, all these countries had their own currencies. We know right now that these countries today have one currency called the euro. But back in the day, all these countries had their own currency. And all these countries, they said, you know what? Hey guys, we don't want to get into any wars with each other. Let's all stay like a happy family. So I know we have different currencies, but let's go ahead and join a group. Let's go ahead and create something that's called the ERM, which is the exchange rate mechanism. And in this ERM, even though we all have different currencies, let's just go ahead and lock the exchange rates together so they don't fluctuate separately up and down. So this way, all of our currencies kind of remain static and remain kind of in unison. Because then whenever we do any trades of goods in between the borders, we won't have a lot of issues. It'll be awesome. It'll be so much fun. So that's essentially what all these guys right here kind of were making an agreement on. And then Great Britain over here, also part of Europe, they're like, you know what? We don't think that's really too good of an idea. They're like, you know what, guys, honestly, like at this point, our country is not really doing too well. We're actually in a recession right now, and we're down bad. So initially, Great Britain did not join the ERM, but all these guys right here did. And these guys were in a recession, so they kind of wanted to remain in control of their own currency so their central bank could make decisions on what to do with the economy in terms of the inflation and in terms of all the different monetary policies that they can possibly do. Now, without going into too much detail, due to some politics,
one eternity later,
they ended up joining the ERM as well. So they kind of wiggled their way in. They're like, you know what, let's go ahead and join the ERM as well. Now, joining the ERM, there were some rules. They had to follow rules in order to kind of stay in the ERM. And one of the rules were they couldn't adjust their inflation rate. They couldn't change their inflation rate up and down. They kind of had to follow the rules of what the ERM was conducting. And remember, they joined the ERM when they were pretty much in a recession. They weren't doing too well. And during this time, on the other side of the pond, there was a guy by the name of George Soros who was sitting all the way in New York in his Manhattan office, and he was kind of eyeing what was going on over here. He said, you know what, Great Britain just joined the ERM and they're already not doing too well. Now they have to follow their rules, which is going to make it even harder for the economy of Great Britain to kind of do well. This could be an opportunity to make money. And as Great Britain was in the ERM, what ended up happening is their economy just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And George Soros, along with a lot of other smart Forex traders, saw that the economy was struggling. So what George Soros and other traders ended up doing was, George Soros in August of 1992, he ended up saying, you know what? I'm going to short the GBP, the Great Britain pound, because he thinks that the economy is eventually going to plummet and he wants to short that currency so he can make money during the short. But he said, you know what? I'm a businessman. I'm not going to use my own money. I'm going to think outside the box. So instead of using my own money, I'm going to go to various different banks. I'm going to go to different hedge funds and say, hey guys, I know you guys have some Great Britain pounds. Can I borrow those pounds from you guys? He said, can I borrow all that money from you? And At this point, he was the owner of a hedge fund, so he had a lot of respect around the world. And the different hedge funds, the banks, and all these people, they said, sure, we'll go ahead and allow you to borrow the money. Just pay us back with interest. He said, sure, that's fine. I'll pay you guys back in interest. So what he did was he figured the GBP was going to plummet. So he had a lot of GBP that he had borrowed from people. And he took that GBP and he just did a Forex trade. He traded the GBP for the Deutsche Mark, for the Germany currency. So literally in 1 month, in the month of August of 1992, he had borrowed over 1.5 billion pounds, and he just exchanged all of 1.5 billion pounds to the Deutsche Mark. So at this point, he was hoping that the GBP, the Great Britain pound's price, would start going down, but it really didn't move that much. So at this point, he was just waiting for a catalyst. He was waiting for some fundamental news, some fundamental event to essentially act as a catalyst to cascade the price into plummeting downwards. And on September 16th, literally the next month, one of the presidents of a bank in Germany made a statement saying, he says that some of these currencies might fall under pressure. Now, overall, that really isn't a too alarming of a statement, but George Soros on the other side of the world was like, you know what, that's a good enough catalyst for me. So what he ended up doing was, so when this side of the world started falling asleep, when it was nighttime for Europe, what George Soros did in that time, he borrowed a lot more Great Britain pound. And in his words, he said he wanted to go for the jugular. And that's crazy. I'm like, whoa, calm down, Scarface. But at that point, he had borrowed over 10 billion GBP and he had exchanged it in one night, all while Europe was asleep. And guys, remember, it had taken him almost a whole month to borrow 1.5 billion GBPs before. But now he did 10 billion all in one night. So now his total short position on the GBP was over $10 billion. And when this side of the world woke back up, they were in complete chaos. The Great Britain pound's valuation was dramatically falling. It was essentially free falling. Why? Because he was shorting it. A lot of other traders were shorting it. Everyone was shorting the GBP and this price was literally plummeting. And by the time these guys woke back up, they tried to put out the fire. So what they ended up doing at 8:40 in the morning, they bought £1 billion worth of GBP just to buy that currency back up in order to prevent the price from dropping even further. And while that had absolutely no effect because everyone else was shorting it at the same exact time, 20 minutes later at 9 a.m., they bought 2 billion more worth of GBP, and that had no effect. And their interest rate was 10%. And remember, they were in a recession. Their economy wasn't doing real well. So when the economy isn't doing too well, the central bank does not want to increase interest rates. Why? Because they want to try to keep the interest rates low so the people in the economy can actually start spending money and buy things and try to keep the economy afloat. So what they ended up having to do is they had to increase their interest rate from 10% up to 12%. This 2% increase within one day is absolutely insane. So you might be asking, why does increasing the interest rate have to do with anything? Why would they even increase the interest rate? The reason they did it is because they're trying to get outside investors to go ahead and look at the GBP and allow it to be an attractive currency to invest in. Because think about it, if you had $1 million just like laying around in your house and it wasn't doing anything, and you see that the GBP has an interest rate of 12%, and if the money's at your house and you're not making any interest, of course you would want to take that $1 million and put it into the GBP because you know you're going to be earning 12% interest on your money. So while Great Britain did that, it didn't have any effect. The price was still dramatically falling. And later on during that day, they ended up raising the interest rate even more to now 15%, which was even way more unheard of. They went from 10% all the way to 15% in a single day. And by the time the day ended, they had bought almost 27 billion worth of GBP. So at the end of the day, nothing was working out. So they ended up having to admit defeat, and the traders and George Soros essentially won. And what they ended up doing was they had to resign. They had to get out of the ERM. And now remember, now since their currency is not linked, is not tied to the ERM anymore, now their currency is completely on their own. So what ended up happening is their currency kept going into a free fall even more. So at this point, the only floor that they have right now is just what the active market, what the sentiment is of the market, what everyone thinks the Great British Pound is worth. So after a few days, after a few weeks of everyone trading back and forth, the GBP ended up going down 15% compared to the Deutschmark. And compared to the US dollar, the GBP fell over 25%. So you might be thinking, okay, so the GBP fell dramatically down by 25% compared to the USD, but how in the world did George Soros even make $1 billion? How did it actually work? So let me just kind of explain. So let's just go to the GBP USD chart, for example. I'm just going to give you an example of GBP USD just because there's a good area I can kind of illustrate this for you. Just know George Soros mostly exchanged the GBP for the Deutschmark. But just for this example, to kind of explain and illustrate this, let's just use GBP USD. And in fact, let's go ahead and use this specific area right here. This is not the time that any of this happened. This is 2009. So just look at the candles, ignore the actual dates. This is just to kind of illustrate, to show you exactly what he did. So let's just assume that 1 GBP will get you $2 worth. So let's just do an example, right? So if you take 1 GBP and you want to convert that 1 GBP to US dollars and the price is 2, you just multiply by 2, so you'll know that 1 GBP will give you 2 US dollars. So now let's say the price drops, and in that case the price had dropped 25%, right, compared to the USD. So if this price from $2 drops by 25%, the new exchange rate will be $1.50, right? 1.50. So now we know that we have $2 worth, for example, and we want to convert it back to GBP, right? So how do we convert the $2 back to GBP? We would just divide that by the new conversion rate, which is 1.5. That means now we have 1.33 GBP. Remember, initially we only had 1 GBP, and then we did all this conversion stuff, so now we have 1.33 GBP. So imagine doing the same exact concept, not just with 1 GBP, but let's imagine the same concept with $10 billion worth. So let's do that same exact thing, $10 billion worth. So we multiply that by the first conversion rate, which was the initial rate, which was 2. So now we have $20 billion. And now let's say after all this commotion happened, everything dropped, GBP dropped. So now the conversion rate is 1.50. So now we just got to convert it back. So we divide that by the new conversion rate, 1.5. And what we're left with is 13 billion GBP. And remember, he started with 10 billion. So let's subtract the 10 billion. So his profit in this example is $3.3 billion. And let's just imagine the other portion of this money he had to pay out in terms of interest. So what he was left with was over £1 billion worth of profit. Now his profit, his gain was somebody's loss, right? That's what the Forex market is. Someone wins and someone else loses. It's a zero-sum game. So while he won, the people who lost were the economy of the Great Britain. So GBP, everyone who lives in Great Britain, they were all the losers to all of this. Why? Because their economy completely crashed. So they ended up having to pay all of this stuff in terms of taxes to kind of get the economy back together. So the people living in Great Britain had to pay over $3 billion worth of taxes in order to get Great Britain back on its feet. While this was a very hard time for Great Britain, this did actually have a light at the end of the tunnel, because at this point, they were able to leave the ERM, which at the beginning, they didn't want to be a part of it in the first place because they knew it really wasn't a good idea. And over the course of the next few years after that, their economy, in fact, started to flourish even better and better and better. While most people call that day Black Wednesday, there are some people that call this White Wednesday because this did end up helping Great Britain in the long run. Now, my question to you is this. If you were an active Forex trader back in during this time and you had the same information as George Soros did, and you saw exactly what was going on and you knew what was going to happen, my question to you is, and I want you to write it down in the comments below, tell me, would you have also shorted GBP? Would you have either used your own money to short the GBP, or would you have borrowed some money to short the GBP? Would you have done this trade in order to capitalize on what you saw that was going to be inevitable? Leave it down in the comments below. I hope this video clearly explained exactly what the situation was, what happened during this time. If it was helpful, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below letting me know whether you would have actually done this short just like George Soros and many other Forex traders did. That is all for today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.